Thanks a lot. And now I will hand over. The last but not least panelist is just on the other side. It's Ramona Dominicio, the coordinator of the Civil Society Mechanisms Working Group on Monitoring and a member of the CSM Coordinating Committee. She's a farmer from Transylvania in Romania and is going to present the report prepared by the CSM. They have really made an own one, which is a colorful document, and I think you can get it all. I got a copy just in front of it. Over the use and the implementation of the Right to Food guidelines. It is a combined document summarizing experiences from many organizations at different countries, and we are interested what you will present to us. Ms. Dominicio, you have the floor. 7 minutes like all the others. Thanks.
Oh. Thank you very much. The CSM would first like to congratulate the CFS actors for the amount of participation that went into this monitoring process, and to especially acknowledge member states for taking up the call to conduct monitoring exercises at subnational, national, regional and global levels. Throughout these exercises, we can better understand the successes and challenges in implementing the Right to Food guidelines and reaffirm the importance of ensuring space for monitoring and accountability at the CFS. I'd like to add on your presentation, to which I thank you very much, that I am a peasant. This is my identity. I'm a seed saver, and I'm also a member of La Via Campesina. To continue, this week at CFS 45, we've come together to discuss policy solutions for the rampant violations of the right to food occurring every day in every country across the globe. All actors in this room have expressed concerns about the devastating and rising numbers of food insecure people. Yet, food insecurity and violations of the right to food are not a given. We know that the realization of the right to food is fundamental for achieving food security, food sovereignty, women's rights, poverty eradication, sustainable livelihoods, peace and security, economic growth, and the 2030 agenda. We must take action, and we have all the tools we need to do so. The Right to Food guidelines, negotiated and unanimously adopted by all FAO member states in 2004, provide critical guidance on how to implement and realize the right to food. It is a historic moment that we're here today for the first time engaging in a collective effort to monitor their implementation. This monitoring event lies at the heart of the reformed CFS, and it's an important moment in our CFS monitoring process. We should use it to make it visible, to make visible the challenges we face, and to assess how we move forward. And we need to allow a proper time for this conversation in this session. As a contribution to this important and timely event, the CSM has prepared its own report, monitoring the use and implementation of the Right to Food guidelines. This is our report. Over the last year, we have come together through a deeply participatory process engaging social movements, indigenous peoples, and the CSOs from over 60 countries, using global and regional consultations as well as interviews and questionnaires to produce a comprehensive view of the challenges impeding our rights and the solutions to ensure the right to food is realized for all. In this process, we've identified many important steps taken by states to recognize their right to food obligations. For example, many countries have adopted constitutional and legal protection of the right to food, while others have passed rights-based policies and built regional instruments to ensure policy coherence and accountability. But there remains an enormous gap between the right to food recognition and the right to food realization. Throughout our participatory consultation process, we've identified some of the key challenges and struggles to achieving the right to food, and these include: 1. Ensuring accountability, policy coherence, democratic food system governance, and real, meaningful, and robust participation of rights holders in all decision-making processes that affect them. 2. Realizing rights to resources necessary for smallholders, fishers, pastoralists to produce and harvest food. This includes rights to land, water, seeds, and biodiversity, as well as access to markets and infrastructure. 3, protecting human rights defenders and ensuring freedom of association and speech. 4, connecting agricultural policies and nutrition policies through supporting agroecology in order to ensure sustainable food systems, healthy and diverse diets, and an end to rural poverty. 5, ending protracted crises, conflicts, and climate crises by addressing their root causes and ensuring human rights even during these situations. 6, ensuring human rights-based social protection schemes. 7, protecting the rights of indigenous people, including rights to resources and free, prior and informed consent. And 8, addressing workers' rights across the food system. A key element from our report now. So, in particular, our report details the way in which women, specifically, face chronic right to food violations, including widespread violence against women, discrimination, and subjugation. For this reason, we both mainstream women's rights, women's empowerment, and gender equality within the report, as well as address it as an independent issue. Another important point is that the SDGs alone are not enough to remedy these situations, these violations. So we must continue to put the right to food at the center of our work. The right to food guidelines remain a crucial tool for ensuring full realization of the right to food for all. In the years since their adoption, the international community has negotiated many frameworks which further enrich our understanding of what states can do and must do to realize the right to food. With many policy outputs we've negotiated here together, the CFS has provided critical contributions to building this enriched normative framework. Other bodies have also contributed with policy guidelines, guidance, and norms to support the implementation of the right to food and to elevate the rights of the most marginalized people. And these include CEDAW with General Recommendation 24 on the rights of rural women, the UN Human Rights Council with the Declaration on the rights of peasants and other people working in rural areas, and the UN Special Rapporteurs. Our report outlines concrete steps for a path forward with a series of specific recommendations to the CFS, the RBAs, and the member states. These recommendations detail steps in 3 directions. One is ensuring that human rights, including women's rights, remain at the center of policy discussions at the CFS, regional and national level. Second, supporting the development of public policies at the national level for right to food realization. And third, but not last, addressing accountability, democratic decision-making, and full and meaningful participation of those most affected by hunger and malnutrition. Now, we need to use these tools. We need to use our knowledge, we need to ensure accountability, and to ensure the right to food is at the center of our efforts to eradicate hunger and malnutrition, ensure human dignity, and mitigate climate change. I have to say a few sad things right now. The findings of our report show us that we're not working for achieving zero hunger. We're actually working to increase hunger. As we all stand here in full knowledge of the importance of the right to food and fully aware of the pathway we need to follow, encouraging and congratulating each other, patting each other's back, in conference rooms far away from the reality in the ground, the hungry people increase by millions every year, every day, right this second. At this point, we're well beyond words of encouragement. Only action can rescue us and enable us to look forward in the future with some hope. So let's just act and act together. I'd like to end with a poem written by our friend from Cunayala indigenous community. I'll read it in Spanish, it's the original text. La mujer sin rostro. Hay una mujer campesina sin rostro sin nombre, que alimenta el mundo, que renace cada mañana en Uganda, en Myanmar, Colombia o Palestina. Lleva tatuado su nombre en los canos de sus manos, está desnuda, cubierta de semillas rojas, negras, amarillas y blancas. No le interesa la ODS, el CCA o cientos de siglas. Mujer sin tierra, pintada de colores, ella es bambú, humo de hojarasca, ella es nube, agua, mujer árbol, mujer planta, mujer de fuego. La mujer sin rostro está asesinada 1000 veces en México, Argentina, Nigeria y toda la Europa, pero renace en Brasil, en Honduras o en Sierra Leone. Tiene 1000 alimentos, es campesino, 1000 alientos. Es campesina, pescadora, urbana, arcoíris, alimenta el mundo de frijoles, maíz, arroz, yuca. Ella lucha por la tierra, el agua, por la vida y por el territorio. La mujer sin rostro y tiene nombre. Muchas gracias. Mulțumesc frumos pentru răbdare și atenție. And thank you very much.